welcome to Soulful Sunday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube. And moderating for us today are the lovely Heather and the lovely Honeypaw. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We have a premiere today, which is not super normal on Sundays, but I wanted to make up for the fact that I was gone on Friday, so we are having Friday's premiere today. And that's at 11 o'clock, just about 40 minutes, a little more than 40 minutes from now. I hope you can join us for that premiere on our main YouTube channel. I have linked this stream to that premiere, so if you just hang out until the end of the exit music, you should find yourself either with a link to or the actual watch page for that premiere. Our website is located at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. We have a podcast hub, and you can find that at arielspodcasts.com. And we also have a shop, and you can find that at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We have a brand new course. It's the Magical Handwriting course, and you can find that by going to arielgatoga.com. I always get this wrong. Hang on a second. arielgatoga.com/handwriting-magic. arielgatoga.com/handwriting-magic. We have a chat thread going on here, so please chat amongst yourselves. If you have any questions for me, put them right in the chat thread, and I will do my best to get to them before the end of the stream, provided we are not going over. If for some reason I can't get to your question, please join us on our Discord server and or our private Facebook group. And you can find links to those two places, plus all of our other social media, right on our website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. Just look in the footer of any page. In that footer, you'll also find a donation link if you'd like to donate to our to Ariel's Corner using a credit card or a normal kind of payment like that. But if you want to donate and you want to use PayPal, you can use our PayPal portal, and that's at paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, or on YouTube, you could always use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks. So we do appreciate your support, and we appreciate you being here today. And I think I've done all my announcements, so let's get going. Before we get going, I got to get the air on. I'm just hotter than you can believe. Hold on just a moment, please. I should have taken care of this already. Oh, but that's why God made the nest. Okay, here we go. If you're in a place where it is safe and appropriate, please close your eyes and begin to take some nice, long, slow, deep, relaxing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. With each inhale, just feel all the tension in your body. With each inhale, feel yourself filling up with light. And with each exhale, let go of all the tension in your body, along with anything in your mind you do not want. Inhaling peace, exhaling as you let go. We see ourselves on top of a beautiful mountain, in the center of a circular grove of trees. In the center of our circle, a bonfire blazes forth, and it lights us and the grove with a sacred golden light. This is the light of perfect love and perfect trust, and it easily and efficiently dissolves anything unlike itself, leaving us safe and serene. Into our sacred space, we invoke the presence of our Creator. To many of us, our Creator reveals themselves to be a mother and father, a goddess and God. We also call upon the presence of our angels, our guides, our teachers. We ask that we be guided as we walk upon the way, becoming happier, more peaceful, more powerful, more magical, and more loving people. Blessed be. I sometimes tell the story when I was, I think I was in my late teens, maybe early 20s, and just really full steam ahead and being a witch, and I was really out of the broom closet, and I'm just on fire, basically. And I was up against some problem. I don't remember what it was. It was probably money or something happening, relationship, something happening. And I was just bitching and moaning to somebody about it. And this was the daughter of a friend of mine. She had nothing to do with the craft, but she was, open-minded and very kind person. And I guess I bitched and moaned a little bit too many times for her. And she just said, "I thought you said you were a witch." I said, "What?" And she said, "I thought you were a witch. Why are you complaining about the problems? Can't you cast a spell? Can't you do something about it? I don't understand. What's the point of being a witch if you can't make it better?" And I didn't have a good answer for her. Because that was a really good wake-up call for me. And I use that on myself so frequently since then. If I'm noticing that I'm complaining about something, I say, "I thought you were a witch." Now, that's not to say that just because you're a witch and just because you study magic and you build your power, that you are omnipowerful, that you are all-powerful, and that you can overcome every problem, with the snap of your fingers. But a lot of the stuff that I used to just complain about, I don't allow myself to complain about as much anymore, because I know I do have a way of making change happen in my life. Even if it's by working well within my sphere of influence and breaking down the problem into smaller components and taking it piece by piece until I get a resolution that I want. And I think that young lady was one of the best parts of my craft education, and she wasn't even involved in the craft, by just holding me to account. If you're going to call yourself this, then shouldn't you act like this? And if this doesn't involve that, then why do this? If this so-called magical lifestyle of yours doesn't include solving some of the problems that you're complaining about, then why bother with it? What's the point of it? It seems like a lot of work for nothing. And I started thinking about that this morning because we were on our private Facebook group. Somebody reposted some article from somebody that I wasn't familiar with that was all about how vulnerable we are if somebody touches us. And this is somebody who's supposedly a witch. You can't shake hands with somebody. If somebody bumps up against you, you're going to absorb their negative energy, or you're going to be at the effect of them. You're so vulnerable. So you have to stay isolated and be very careful who you allow to touch you. And I thought to myself, that's nonsense. That's not, at least for me it is. That's why from the gate in A Witch's Primer, we talk about strengthening your aura, spiritual purification, grounding and centering, orb of light, really strong aura. You have nothing to worry about. You don't need to be paranoid about picking up somebody else's astral cooties. That's ridiculous. Are you a witch or not? And I realize that there are two very separate paths that call themselves the craft, that call themselves magic. One is all about superstition and being afraid, and the other one is all about empowering oneself and living life independently. On the one side of people that call themselves witches that are so superstitious and afraid, they can't do anything when Mercury goes retrograde, because the sky will literally fall. Now, I did an independent study for myself years ago where I took, I think it was 2 or maybe 3 full Mercury cycles where it goes direct, retrograde, direct, retrograde. I wanted a decent snapshot, and I was very diligent about writing down when I had computer problems, or I don't even know if it was computer back then, whatever it was, communication setbacks, big upheavals, things like that. And I looked back and it was even. There were more if you tallied them up during Mercury retrograde, but that's only because it's longer. It's because there's more time during Mercury retrograde. It was identical. All things were equal. All things were even. And somebody said, well, that's because you have Mercury retrograde in your natal chart, so it doesn't affect you. And I thought, wouldn't it affect me opposite then? So you're just saying if you have Mercury retrograde in your chart, then you have like the kiss of Glinda on your forehead and Mercury has absolutely no control over you? Because to me, if you were going to use that logic, it would mean that during Mercury direct, things would go haywire. And only during Mercury retrograde would things be okay. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. And I find it hard to believe that Mercury just misses me because I happen to have been Mercury retrograde during my birth, my birth chart. When I was born, Mercury was retrograde. So it says, ooh, that's a natal retrograde, so we're not going to bug him. I have a really hard time with that one. I did the same thing with the moon, and I did find that the moon made a difference. The phases of the moon, and it was a lot easier, by the way. I could do 3 or 4 moon phases, and it was a lot quicker because it doesn't cycle it cycles more quickly than Mercury. And the moon did have an effect on my life. I did have different emotional swings during certain lunar phases. It was causative, but Mercury being direct or retrograde, absolutely not causative for me. And I thought to myself, if it's true for me, then it has to be true for everybody. I'm not special. And we even teach this when we're timing our spells. You don't have to worry about Mercury. You don't have to worry about the other planets. The only thing that you have to concern yourself with is with the lunar phase and the day of the week, because we are plugging into Akashic energy with these timing conventions. And if your need is great, who cares what phase the moon is in or what day of the week it is? It doesn't matter. You can follow those things in order to be in alignment with that tradition and in alignment with the phases of the moon, alignment with that magnetic energy that does seem to rule the tides and the emotions and things like that. But if your need is great, it doesn't matter. You do you. You do it even if the moon is dark. It doesn't matter. If you have a need, you cast that spell when you need it. Don't worry about it. So when we study the craft, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of witch do I want to be? Do I want to be the superstitious kind of witch that's afraid about everything and vulnerable to everything and has to hide my head in a hole because there's bad things out there that are going to get me? Or do I want to be the kind of witch that doesn't have to worry about that because I'm so strong, I'm so clear, I'm so powerful, that I can go about my day, go about my life, and let there be other people around me without worrying about getting their astral cooties or worrying about the idea that Mercury is going to beat me up? When you allow yourself to really get into your power and you realize how powerful you are, you're not going to let Mercury run you around, boss you around. You're not even going to let the moon boss you around. You're not going to let yourself worry about things like about needing to sage every time somebody comes into your presence that might have some negative energy, because it doesn't affect you. You're much more powerful than sage. Your light is so powerful and so strong and so potent that sage is nothing compared to your presence. You don't need sage. You can use it. You can use any tool you want or not, because that's the kind of witch you are. You've built your power. You've built your power. You have connected with the truth about who you are at your core, and from there you have exercised it. Just like some people connect with their muscles and exercise their muscles in the gym and become very powerful and very strong, or go to martial arts classes and learn how to defend themselves and protect themselves. You also, as a witch, if you're working a system, especially like what we teach here or something akin to it, where you are accessing and then building your power and understanding what that means, you understand that you take your power with you. You take your power with you wherever you go, and you alone are enough. You are enough. And nothing and nobody can go up against you. You don't have to worry about being cursed. You don't have to worry about being hexed. You don't have to worry about the evil eye. You don't have to worry about negative energy. You don't have to worry about planetary pulls and pushes and all of that, planetary transits. You don't have to worry about planetary transits. You don't have to worry about anything except for you and your power. And what are your goals? What are you here for? Who are you? I am a powerful, individual expression of source energy. That's what I am. I'm a spiritual giant. That's what I am. That's the kind of witch I am. Not the one that's like, oh, I don't know. I can't touch anybody. I can't be around people. Everything's so unsafe here. I can't do anything. Nothing works for me. That's not the kind of witch that we want for you. That's not the kind of magic we want for you. The kind of magic that we want for you is the kind of magic that you already have, that already exists as you. You are a unique expression of power. And you're giant. You're bigger than the earth. You're bigger than Mercury. You're bigger than a star. You're so huge. And see, when we decided to think of ourselves as separate little egos, we swallowed a belief system whole that we're just little vulnerable nothing. We're so unprotected and so unsafe here. And so when you start to look into something like the craft, it should make you feel good that there's a power within you that's greater than all of that, and that you can tap into and build that power for yourself. And anything less than that is not acceptable. Superstition is unacceptable, right? Being afraid of other people's energy is unacceptable. Being afraid of being in the presence of so-called negative energy, unacceptable. That you have to have certain crystals in order to be safe, unacceptable. I'm not saying you can't have those things. Of course you can. They're fun. That's different. If you like it because it's fun and it gets you in touch with that inner power and it makes it enjoyable for you, go for it. Have as many witchy woo tools as you like. I love them too. I think they're great. But I don't need them, and neither do you. You don't need anything but you. And so the next time somebody tries to convince you that you're vulnerable, that you're in danger because of all of this oogie negative energy out there, and that somebody's cursing you and somebody's hexing you, so what if they are? They can't touch you. Somebody tells me they're cursing me, I say, well, you have a nice time with that. Enjoy yourself. Because you can't, it's cursing me or cursing you as a soul, as an entity of truth, who you really are, has no more effect than throwing a rock at the sun does. Somebody could throw a rock at the sun and curse the sun, and the sun wouldn't even notice it. Wouldn't matter. You can do it all day long. They can get themselves in a real state about that if they want to. It doesn't affect the sun. The same way, it doesn't affect you, because you are as powerful, more powerful than the sun. You're more powerful than the sun. Yes, you are. We don't know that here. We don't see that here. But when we work in the craft and we turn inward and we build our power and we discover our power, we get glimpses of the truth behind the veil. And we're so afraid of what's behind the veil. Behind the veil, we're afraid to see because we're afraid it's going to be even scarier and we're going to be more vulnerable. But when you finally peek behind there and you realize what it is, you're huge. You literally are a star. Big, giant, powerful. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can harm you. Not Mercury, not people's negative energy. You don't need sage. You don't need anything but you. And the good news is you're already there. Remind yourself of this every day. I am a powerful expression of perfection. That's not being egotistical, it's being humble. You didn't make it that way. You can't take personal credit for it. But to try to negate it is arrogant. To say, oh, I'm so vulnerable and nothing works for me and I can't make anything happen and negative energy and where's my sage? That's arrogant. That's arrogant. Why? Because you're negating your power. You're negating who you are. We're not doing that anymore. Just make it a point just to say from this day forward, this is my birthday. As of today, I'm going to mark it on the calendar. From this day forward, I am owning my power. And infinite intelligence wants that from you. Begs you, please own your power. Please own your power. That's why I gave it to you. Infinite intelligence gave you your power not as a gift because you were so powerless. Infinite intelligence gave you your power as you, as it extended itself as you. There's nobody that's more powerful than you. It's true that there's nobody less powerful than you, but most people don't have to worry about that part. Most people don't have the kind of narcissism that really believes that they're more powerful than everybody else. A few do, and then they have to learn it from the other side of the coin. But most people that I come in contact with think they're nothing. Think they're a little speck of nothing. And it's blasphemy to think of yourself as nothing. It's blasphemy to think that you need something other than you to shine and to be powerful and to have what you want, to be what you want, and to do what you want. It's your right. Do what you will. And if doing what you will includes all the witchy woo, that's fabulous. But it's so different than, I can't have any power unless I have this crystal, or unless I have this potion, or unless whatever. You don't need it. I know we talk about this a lot, but we don't talk about it enough. And I'm not going to stop talking about this until everybody gets it, until I really feel like people their hearts are beating to this truth. I want your heart to beat to the truth of who you are. You are beloved of your Creator, and as that, you're powerful. You're just as powerful as any angel, as any spirit, as any deity, and definitely as any person, any planet, anything out there. That's how powerful you are. And anything that negates that in your mind is something that you have to learn how to undo. And you can take it one little piece at a time. Undo your attachment to the idea that you're powerless. Undo your attachment to the idea that you're not enough, and therefore you need to look outside of yourself for help. Now, that's not saying that within the realm of the storyline here that it's wrong to ask for help. Absolutely, it's fabulous to ask for help. That's powerful. If you're understanding what help is and where it exists, you look to help from teachers, you look for help, you look to teachers for help, you look to maybe spiritual advisors sometimes for help, you look to friends for help, you look to therapists for help, you look to family for help to get the support that you need in order to find your power. Find your power, live in your power, use your power. Your power is uniquely yours. Nobody can be like you. And one way that this manifests, that people eschew their power, is by disliking themselves. Oh, if only I didn't have this. If only this was better about me. If only I didn't have this hair. If only I didn't have this skin. If only I didn't have this body. If only I didn't have this weight. If only I didn't have this voice. Whatever your thing is. The infinite doesn't look at you like that. The infinite doesn't say, if only. The infinite already thinks you're fabulous and wants nothing more than for you to share that opinion. Start looking at yourself like the infinite sees you. And then those things, some of those things, not all of those things, you'll either come to terms with the fact that the thing that you thought was not so good is actually important and fabulous and necessary, or some of those other things will just drop away naturally without a whole lot of effort on your part. It's what happened with me and smoking. I mean, it was hard, but it just fell away. I didn't have to. I tried so many ways to smoke back in the day, to quit. I tried so many ways to quit smoking back in the day, and none of them worked. But once I recognized that I needed to do nothing more than to accept myself as I was, smoking and all, and recognize that that the infinite saw me as perfect, the way I am, smoking just kind of fell away. Because it wasn't part of me. Right? So that in and of itself is very important to recognize. If you look at yourself and you look at how many places you think you're defective, just do it. Just look, make a list. My defects are, the things I hate about myself are, the reason why I'm not good enough, the reason why I'm not powerful, all that stuff, write it all down. Physical, mental, emotional, personality, whatever you think it is that's not good enough, write it down. When you get that big list of all the horrible reasons why you're not good enough, recognize that the infinite doesn't see it that way at all. The infinite sees you as its beloved child, its beloved extension, in whom it is well pleased. When you realize that, a lot of those things, you start seeing them differently. And the other ones just fall away when they will, and you're not worried about them anymore. Who cares? Who cares? The infinite doesn't care. Why should I? Right? The infinite's not obsessed with my weight. Why should I be? So you have power. You actually, no, let's rephrase that. You are power. You are pure power. And anything that doesn't look like that pure power is not true. And it's okay to call the lie out in the moment. To yourself, you don't have to be obnoxious about this stuff. Let people have their superstitions. Let people have their Mercury retrograde. Let people have their whatever they need, their trinkets and all of that stuff. And you let yourself have them too, if you like them. But you're coming from a different point of view. Starting today, you are power. And anything that doesn't look like that power, I'm going to call it out in a minute, in the instant. I'm going to call it out in the moment. The moment that I notice that I'm shrinking back from my power, I say, we don't do that anymore. I'm a powerful witch, or whatever word you like. I'm a powerful witch. And I am an extension of pure power, and there's nothing more powerful than I am. We recognize that there's nothing less powerful than you either. Nobody's less powerful than you ultimately. But for now, that's not so much the point. For now, for most of us, the point is no one is more powerful than I am. And I can have what I want regardless of what everybody else around me is doing or saying, regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of what's going on in the environment, regardless of what's going on in the economy, the politics, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is that I'm pure power and I can have what I want, when I want it, how I want it. Because what I truly want is part of who I am. The hearts of my desire, the desires of my heart are there to be fulfilled. They also are my gift. It's not the infinite doesn't dangle carrots. The ego does, but the infinite doesn't. If you want something, it's yours. If you desire something truly and honestly, it's yours. You get it. And that's part of our training in magic, is learning how to get it, learning how to accept it, learning how to ask for it, learning how to manifest it. That's the buzzword these days. I manifested that. Did you? Did you though? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? But you do know how to manifest. You do have the power to manifest. And the more you connect with that power to manifest, the easier it's going to be for you to have those experiences of fulfillment in your life, which is the infinite's will for you, to be fulfilled. This world is an awful place, but it doesn't need to be for you. You have everything that you need to protect you, to provide for you, and to heal you while you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, which is this world. You have everything you need. And so it's up to you to claim it, it's up to you to know it, and it's up to you to keep your mind focused on the truth of that and not get sucked into this nonsense that's out there. Don't let anybody else in the world define for you what power looks like, what the craft looks like, what it means for you to be a witch. Now, if you don't like that word, if you use another word, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whatever your identity is, don't let anybody else define that for you. Because the minute you do that, then you go back into that island of forgetfulness where you have no power, where you're vulnerable, where you're at the effect of every little thing. Every little breeze, every little shake of a leaf is going to somehow upset you or cause a problem for you. And that's not the will of the infinite. The will of the infinite is that you own your power, know your power, be provided for, be happy, be safe, and then wake up. Wake up to who you really are. And then you realize that none of this really mattered. Today's your birthday. Today is the first day of your new life. Own it and insist upon that from yourself. Do not allow yourself to accept anything less than satisfaction with who you are as a soul, because that's what the infinite wants for you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be. Let's see. Okay, even if the infinite thinks we're perfect, what's wrong with asking for help to change who we are if we don't like ourselves? Nothing. Nothing. That's my whole point. You don't have to worry about changing yourself. You can go ask you can go ask the infinite for help. Like I said, the infinite's will wasn't that I be a smoker, but the infinite didn't hate me because I smoked. The infinite didn't have a big problem with me smoking like I did. Just like the infinite didn't have a problem with my stepmother's weight. The infinite wasn't like, oh, well, if you could lose a little weight, maybe. No. But that doesn't mean the infinite couldn't help her lose weight, couldn't help me quit smoking. And then there were other things. Remember I told you to make a list? Make a list. Make a list of everything you hate about yourself or don't like about yourself or you think is defective about yourself. And then realize that the infinite doesn't have a problem with any of it. But the things on that list that are not organic to who you are probably going to just fall away without you having to worry so much about them. Or you're going to learn how to look at them differently. There's probably a few things on there that you don't need to change, you don't want to change, and that are perfect the way they are. Right? So you can ask the infinite for help. But just understand that the infinite's not in agreement with you that there's a problem. The infinite's not bugged by you. The infinite's not like, if only they would do this. No, the infinite loves you unconditionally, right here, right now, even if you see warts. But if those warts don't really belong there, they'll get taken off. They'll get taken off, absolutely. So if I wasn't clear on that, I apologize. All right, well, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and thank you so much to the amazing moderators. Today we had the lovely Heather and the lovely Honey Paw. And I hope to see you all over at our premiere in just a few moments. And we are off for Monday and Tuesday, and we'll be back on Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. Pacific time for our Witchy Wednesday stream. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Blessed be.